What up? What up? What up? Rec League Podcast, man. Episode 6. Still, like every new episode, I don't know how to explain it, man. I become more proud of myself that I made it this far, that I'm still going. But and it's still crazy that I'm still going. Um, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it every episode, but it just comes out. On this episode, we're gonna talk about the Dark Phoenix trailer. We're gonna talk about a little bit of Birds of Prey casting, the Lethal Weapon TV series fiasco that is turned into. I got Old Man Lawrence and his brother, who I'm gonna refer to as Brother Lawrence. We're gonna talk about the upcoming NBA season, and then once again, man, I tried to get my guy. I tried to get Nappy Newt on during the hip hop segment, man, and he having some Skype issues that I don't know how to help him fix because I'm in Texas, he's in Indianapolis, so it's hard for me to walk him through it because I got one kind of phone, he got another kind of phone. Hey, but go on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, however you can. Search that Nappy Newt, get gone. He dropped a music video for the upcoming album, Strap Town's Finest, and it bangs, man. It goes, man. He also gave me a sneak peek at the next single called Straight Winning, and it goes, man. Like he got some bangers cooking, man. Nappy Newt got some bangers on the way. Eventually, we gonna figure out his technical difficulties, and we gonna figure that out. But y'all know how I do. I posted some Twitter poll questions on the Twitter Rec League page, and we about to hit y'all with the results right quick. Night School came out, right? So as I usually do, most of my poll questions revolve around the director of a new movie. And I said the new Malcolm D. Lee directed movie Night School opens Friday. Which is your favorite movie of his? Comment if your pick is unavailable. And he's directed The Best Man, Undercover Brother, Roll Bounce, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. I ain't seen either one of them. Soul Man, Scary Movie 5, The Best Man Holiday, Barbershop The Next Cut, and Girls Trip. My choices were The Best Man, Undercover Brother, Barbershop 3, and Girls Trip. Girls Trip won that with 60%. Barbershop 3 and Undercover Brother both tied with 20. And man, y'all hating on The Best Man. I can't believe The Best Man didn't get one vote. And then the other question from that weekend, see, I had posted, because at the time, Kanye West and Logic were both announced to drop. And then Lil Wayne announced Carter 5 was coming. So I amended the poll question, and the poll question I'm going to give y'all the results of is new music drops Friday from Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and Logic, which y'all anticipating more. And then the day of, Kanye it was like actually 2 days after the release date, right? Kim Kardashian came on Twitter talking about, oh, Kanye album coming out on Friday. So it ruined the whole poll question because Kanye won with 50%. Lil Wayne had 44%, Logic had 6%. So let's just say Lil Wayne won with 44%, and then Logic had 6%. And then this past weekend, I hit y'all with the which is your most anticipated October release. Well, actually, let me do this one first. My bad, I didn't mean to misspeak like that. Which was your favorite September release? Because obviously September ended and then October began. So September, you had The Nun, Peppermint, Predator, A Simple Favor, White Boy Rick, The House with a Clock in Its Walls, Life Itself, Hellfest, Night School, Smallfoot, all came out. My choices were The Nun, The Predator, A Simple Favor, and Smallfoot. A Simple Favor won that with 50%. The Nun was second with 30%. And then The Predator and Smallfoot both won with 10%. And then the last poll question that I gave you guys in between shows was which is your most anticipated October release. A Star is Born, Venom, Bad Times at the El Royale, First Man, Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, Hunter Killer, Indivisible, and then Johnny English Strikes Again. And the choices were Venom, Bad Times at the El Royale, First Man, and Halloween. Halloween won that with 52%. And then Bad Times and First Man both had 18, and then Venom had 12%. But Venom made $80 million opening weekend. That's crazy. Like huge props to Venom. Cause despite the reviews, Venom came out and set records at the box office. And then when I get back, I think we're gonna flip this real quick and we're gonna go into the movie headlines, the movie topics. And we are back, man. Rec League Podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying each and every episode. That's what, before we get into the topics, one thing I should have said during the intro that I did not say, man. Every like, every comment, every share, every message on the audio only, man, it's all appreciated. It's all love, man. Share the episodes. Invite your friends to whatever pages. More eyes on the show helps out. It's all love. You know, slowly but surely trying to grow the name, grow the brand, and grow the show itself. Now, let's start with Birds of Prey, because Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Journey Bell were announced as Black Canary and the Huntress, right? I know both of these characters from the Arrow TV series, and they're both dope characters. Like the Huntress was in season 1 and maybe came back for a cameo in a later season. Black Canary is a very dope character that I have watched, the mantle of this hero be passed along season to season, whichever character is Black Canary for that season. But Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn in this. Journey Bell is Black Canary, and I think there's been a little bit of like bigotry and hate going on as far as Journey Bell as Dinah Lance. I think they're gonna call her the Arrow. The show calls her Laurel, and I don't think it matters. Like I saw comic clips of her as a black girl. Like it works. Like who cares? Like Michael B. Jordan played Johnny Storm, who's traditionally a white dude. Like it's all entertainment. Like all y'all hardcore nerds out there who wanna rise up and try to get Warner Brothers to change the casting. Like y'all ain't got no power. Y'all ain't got no power. Like Warner Brothers make billions of dollars a year. They gonna cast who they want and hopefully make the best movie possible. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead as the Huntress, I think is very dope casting, man. Was Death Proof, Live Free or Die Hard, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Fargo Season 3. She's a very underrated actress, and I can't wait to see what she brings to the role. And then, White Man Can't Jump, Pineapple Express. Rosie Perez was cast as Renee Montoya, who I'm familiar with from Batman the Animated Series, and she's a cop. That's all I know. But Rosie Perez is dope though, so she's gonna bring a lot to that role too. Like I'm excited for this movie. I hope DC can get back. Like the next 3 DC extended universe, World of DC, whatever it is that they call their shared universe. I'm hyped because they have 3 movies that all look fun. Like I haven't seen any clips from Wonder Woman 1984, but the pictures I've seen are interesting. And sticking in the world of comic book movies, the Dark Phoenix trailer come out, the new movie in the X-Men series, and it looks very dope. That one trailer on its own was better than X-Men: The Last Stand. Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones plays Jean Grey, Phoenix, who Like because X-Men Days of Future Past reset the timeline, this, that, and the third. They're gonna redo the Dark Phoenix story, and again, I cannot wait to see what happens in this movie. That's what I wanted from Comic-Con in July, was a Dark Phoenix trailer. I maybe even said that in the first episode of the show, and we got it, and I'm hype for this movie. Like I like the young cast: Ty Sheridan, Alexandra Shipp. I almost blinked. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, and I can't wait to see what happens with this going forward. Cody Smith McPhee as the Nightcrawler. But my thing is, Disney, like once the merger, the Fox Disney merger is officially official, is officially confirmed, like it's in the early stages. Like there's a lot of other legality and paperwork they got to go through before Marvel can officially bring in the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and etc. Whoever else, X-Force. But Disney has said that they won't get in the way of any movies that are already in production. If I'm not mistaken, Fox has announced like Deadpool 3, an X-Force movie, a Multiple Man movie, maybe a Silver Surfer movie. At what point does Disney and Marvel step in and say, nah, like this isn't coming, this isn't gonna happen, because we have plans to bring in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. So y'all gotta stop making movies here with these characters, because this is when they're coming into the big leagues, you know what I mean? That's my question. And we can first sticking in the Disney stratosphere. This Jon Favreau Star Wars project, I thought it was a trilogy of movies. Come to find out, it's a series for the Disney streaming service called The Mandalorian. I want to see it. I hope somebody out there can hook me up with a password, username and password for the Disney streaming service, because I've always wanted to see a Star Wars property take place in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and that's what this series is gonna do. And there was like one picture of either Boba Fett or Jango Fett. Like I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a Star Wars expert, so I don't know which one the shot is from, but that looks cool. And Jon Favreau is producing, if I'm not mistaken. There's gonna be multiple episodes. I think they've announced a couple directors that I forgot to look up. That's my bad. And transitioning over to the TV side, The Walking Dead finally comes back, season 9. The Flash and Black Lightning come back on the CW. I think Riverdale is coming. But the big TV story that I want to touch on is the Lethal Weapon TV series. First, season 1 came on a couple years ago. Damon Wayans, Clayne Crawford, Riggs and Murtaugh, my favorite action movie series. Lethal Weapon is my favorite action movie of all time. So I was hard on the series. It eventually grew on me. It eventually became really fun. And then season 2 come up, drama coming out. Clayne Crawford gets fired as Riggs. The first episode of season 3 explained what happened to his character. I won't go into any spoilers. But it come out that basically Damon Wayans got him fired. Damon Wayans cried, hostile work environment. He directed the episode. Damon Wayans caught an injury. And he countered that Damon Wayans had been an issue, wasn't showing up for table reads, maybe even staying in his trailer. I don't want to add anything that I don't know for a fact. But Clayne Crawford had his own counter arguments. Clayne Crawford as Riggs was the heart of that show, was the entertaining aspect of that show. Like, he made Riggs his own character, and he carried the show. And now it's come out recently over the past, in between episodes. That's every reference I make is gonna be in between episodes. The new trailers come out in between episodes, etc. It come out that after the 13 episode order, Damon Wayans is gonna leave the show as Murtaugh. Bringing in Sean William Scott, who I'm a fan of, Stifler, Dukes of Hazzard, man. Sean William Scott is funny, and but just bringing him in makes Lethal Weapon a generic cop show just called Lethal Weapon. And now with Murtaugh leaving, like they have no other choice but then to cancel the show after this 13 episode run. Damon Wayans screwed over the whole cast, the whole crew, the network, especially Clayne Crawford. That dude's name is a tongue twister. And it basically comes out that star power is what got Clayne Crawford fired. He got fired as Riggs because he wasn't more famous than Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans is a more bankable star, and it's real annoying because I enjoy the show. I know a lot of people enjoy the show, and I know there's a lot on the other side of the argument who, as soon as Clayne Crawford got fired, we're done with the show. How do you guys feel about everything that I've talked about? X-Men, Dark Phoenix, the Mandalorian, Star Wars, Birds of Prey, and Lethal Weapon. If you want the audio, if you want Anchor, drop me a voice message. If you want YouTube, drop a comment. I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts on every topic, and even as I get deeper into the show, your NBA picks, your thoughts on the new Lil Wayne album, your thoughts on the Lupe Fiasco album, all of that. When I get back, I'm gonna have Old Man and Brother Lawrence, and we're gonna go through the NBA playoff teams, NBA picks, MVP picks, and NBA Finals predictions, man. Rec League Podcast. Rec League Podcast, man. We're back. Don't interrupt me. We're gonna talk some NBA, man. In between the next couple episodes, the NBA season starts, man. Best time of the year, my favorite sports time of the year. Got Old Man Lawrence with me, got Brother Lawrence with me, and new guy Jason. Start off with your Eastern Conference playoff teams.
All right, Eastern Conference. Hot take alert. Celtics, number 1 seed. I think with the health and everything last year, those guys are probably gonna go ahead and go at it all year long. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the number 1 team in the league. Wins, losses, as far as that's concerned, because I think they're gonna need that time to kind of integrate and figure out their best balance and their best rotation and figure out who's who and where and what's what. So I think they run away at the 1 seed. I think the Raps are probably still a 60-win team though. For some of the same reasons. And the 2nd seed, I think they've got the new pieces in and the new head coach, so they're going to want to kind of figure things out and improve things. I think Kawhi and Danny Green give them an upgrade over. I know in this group, I'm the biggest DeRozan fan, but I would say Kawhi and Green are an upgrade, especially defensively there. So I think those guys run away with number 2. 3-4 seed is interesting. I've been hearing and reading a lot of people arguing that the Bucks are going to be up there. I don't see it. The homer in me wants to put the Pacers at 3. I think they had the sneaky quiet best offseason. Tyreek Evans would be my 6th man of the year pick. I think having someone else who can just get a shot off and make a bucket happen when they need to is going to be huge. I think that second unit's going to run really well. But I still think I'll say Sixers at 3 seed. Considering if Embiid plays 65 plus games, I think their core 5 are back. Their core 5 are really solid, and I think they'll be able to pick up the pieces. I mean, they lost Ilyasova and Bellinelli and a couple guys that were really big for them down the stretch, but I think they've got enough there. If their core is healthy, they'll be solid. And I mean, of course, there's the Fultz question. Who knows what Markelle Fultz is going to be, right? But if he's a serviceable backup point guard at the very least, I mean, that gives them enough depth. So I'll say Sixers 3, Pacers 4, Bucks 5. I think Giannis starts his world domination tour this year, like officially. If people haven't noticed, they'll notice this year. But I don't know that I see them. I don't know. I just don't see them as high as a 3 seed. I'm not that stoked on that team overall. 6, 7, 8 beyond is kind of whatever in the East. I think the Wizards are the 6th seed. they've got too much talent to probably completely self-destruct, especially if they're healthy. They'll figure it out. Howard was borderline all-star last year. He's a double-double machine. So if his head's not up his ass and, he's not causing all the problems off the court or in the locker room or whatever his reputation is now, I think they've got a lot of talent. And Austin Rivers is actually a big upgrade for those guys as well, having someone who can come off the bench and, and score some buckets. So I think they're probably the 6th seed. And then 7, 8, who knows how it plays out. But I've got Heat 7 and Pistons 8. I think the Heat just grind their way in like they always do. Spoelstra's one of the best coaches in the league. They got enough talent to always be they're a tough out every night. So I think they'll be there. If they get Butler, then this whole conversation for every basketball fan and analyst out there changes. But as they stand, I'll sneak them in at 7. And the Pistons at 8, I think Dwayne Casey finds a way to balance DeAndre Drummond, Blake Griffin, sort of towers. I don't want to call them towers of power. Blake Griffin's not a tower, but they'll figure out some balance with the bigs there. Reggie Jackson should be healthy, hopefully, and good to go. So they're probably the most boring 8th seed. 8th seed in the East is always boring, right? But so they're the 8th seed this year probably. And that's how I'd see that conference rounding out. Probably pretty close to what you guys have, I would guess.
Jay, you want to give yours?
Yeah, it'll be pretty similar except towards the end there. Yeah, I'm going to go Boston 1. Obviously, they're the most talented team, I think, from top to bottom in the Eastern Conference. 2, I'll have the Raptors up there, too. Although I will say I wouldn't be surprised if they're not the number 2 seed because I'm not real big on their head coach, honestly. I mean, I don't know how you let Dwayne Casey go. I mean, everybody knows it was time for a change in some regards with the Toronto Raptors because it seems like they get the same end result every year. So I can understand getting rid of DeRozan, but I don't know if you fire Coach of the Year. I don't know. That just seemed really awkward to me.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't finish 2, but they'll definitely be towards the top. And then I put Philly 3 also. This is another team I wouldn't be surprised if they actually finish 4th or 5th though. Yeah, I don't think have they really done any key free agents or anything this summer? I don't think so.
Resign JJ.
Yeah, I was gonna say JJ Redick. That's about it.
Wilson Chandler came in. That was probably
right.
their biggest addition, I would say.
Yeah, I would put the Pacers at 4. I think we're not quite good enough. Although last year we pushed Cleveland to Game 7, but you could argue that LeBron was just waiting to turn it on. You can look at that a couple different ways. But yeah, I don't think we're quite good enough to make a push to win the East yet. And then I put the Bucks at 4, although I'm not as high on Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, as a lot of people are. I mean, he's a stud, no doubt, but I don't think he's MVP worthy yet. I don't see him.
Not
I don't
yet.
think he's quite that MVP level. Then, so I'm at 6. I'm gonna put the Detroit Pistons at 6 just because what I was talking about with the Toronto Raptors. I think Dwayne Casey's a great coach. I think they have a solid enough roster for the Eastern Conference. So I'll put them at 6, and then this is probably where I probably lose you guys is that I'm gonna put the Detroit Pistons, and then I'm gonna put the Charlotte Hornets. I don't think Miami has. I mean, Dwayne Wade literally just said yesterday that he was going to finally come back. So I mean, he was up there, not even sure if he wanted to play anymore. Although I do like Eric Spoelstra, I think he's a top 5 coach in the league. I really don't see. I mean, Whiteside, I don't think his head's in the game all season long anyway. So yeah, I have Miami missing out on the playoffs actually, and I would slide the Charlotte Hornets in there. So that'd probably be mine.
Okay, yeah. I mean, as far as Eastern Conference champs or Eastern Conference 1 seed,
That was 7, wasn't it?
did you give 7 teams?
No. Oh yeah, did I leave the Wizards out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the Wiz. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wizards. Okay, so yeah, I'd have the Bucks, then I have Pistons, and then I would have the Wizards, and then I would have Charlotte coming in at 8. Yeah, I don't have Miami in my playoffs though.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
honestly though, I hate the Washington Wizards, man. I don't know. I feel like they should be so much better than what they are every year. They're like one of the most frustrating teams to watch. You look at them, they're like they should be really good.
Yeah.
That's
just
true.
like they're I don't know if it's John Wall or Beal or if it's just a combination of everything, but I don't know. They're just annoying as hell to watch.
Scott Brooks is a doo-doo coach, I'd say. That doesn't help.
Well, when they're playing well, it's like they're a really good team. But when they're playing bad, it's like, good God, change the channel. This sucks. So yeah, I put them at 7. Charlotte in the 8.
Okay, so yeah, Celtics the 1 seed all the way around. I think with LeBron in the West, it's the Celtics conference to lose. Hayward healthy, Kyrie recommitting to Boston, getting all the chaos out of the way as far as where's he gonna go with Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Like they've got pieces, man. Boston is scary. And then
there's even rumors that they're talking to
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, well, that's the Boston. That's more Boston Twitter and Boston Reddit than anything, probably. But I do think it's important to point out that Kyrie Irving officially pulled back on the flat Earth thing. So
yeah,
I'm back on the Kyrie bandwagon again. I had to just on ethical, moral principles, I had to abandon it with the flat Earth thing. But now that he's come back, and like Randy said, he's doing the PR thing on the right end, like, oh, I'm committed to Boston. If you'll have me, I'll stay here. So that way people hopefully won't bother him about that.
Opposite of Durant.
And Kyrie, yeah, he can just hoop now. So that's good, yeah.
Yeah, an apology goes a long way for all you viewers out
there. All right, Toronto, I got Toronto at 2. I'm usually iffy on new coaches, man. But if Kawhi is healthy, if he can get back to being the best all-around offensive defenses playing both ends, he's better than DeRozan to me. And Lowry is whatever. I think Lowry will be improved playing with Kawhi. I think, once again, they're the 2 seed. I don't know about 60 wins, but it's not impossible. You see what I got on, man. I'm taking the Pacers at 3. McBuckets. I don't care, man. I'm a homer, man. McBuckets, Tyreek Evans, man. I love our offseason pickups. Vic put the league on notice. He like I told Jason on Twitter, man. He won't get any votes, but Vic is coming for the MVP. Collison, hopefully, like this is Miles' season to improve. If Miles Turner doesn't improve, I might officially give up on him. At 4, I got Philly. I just think we're better than the Sixers. I mean, that's all it is, man. They got shooters. They got Wilson Chandler. Embiid is the best big man in the league, arguably. But I got them at 4. I got the Wizards at 5. I was just kind of like, I think 5 down is just a toss-up practically for anybody that's not the Knicks, Nets, or Hawks, or the Magic.
Or Magic, yeah.
Yeah. So I got the Wizards at 5. Hopefully, like y'all said, hopefully Dwight gets his head out of his ass. Wall, Beal.
Magic might be the best garbage team in the East, though.
They might be. Otto Porter.
They're interesting. They've got they can run a 5-man lineup that's like the tallest, longest lineup in the league with Mo Bamba, what's the kid's name? Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, they re-signed Gordon.
Yeah, Fournier. I mean, they got Jaren Grant. It's got the point guard spot to kind of take away from old man. Yeah. I think all those bottom East teams are garbage. I think those guys in Sacramento are the minor leagues. You couldn't pay me to watch those teams this year, but
at 6, I got the Bucks, man, because like the Wizards and Bucks, they're both teams that come in with all these expectations and never live up to them. So I got the Bucks at 6, who will match up against the Pacers because the Pacers aren't getting any ESPN projection love, and that's gonna be our first round win.
That would be the NBA TV series then.
Yeah. At 7.
Yeah, always. Unless we're going up against LeBron or something. Like, I guess we can slide them on the network.
At 7, I got the Heat.
If there's a legit Indiana-Milwaukee series, that's getting no national coverage.
None. We'll be on NBA TV every game. Even the weekend game, they'll squeeze us on NBA TV game 1. I got the Heat at 7, and as I was writing this at work, not doing shit, if they get Jimmy Butler, it all changes. The Jimmy Butler trade is going to change the whole landscape of whatever team he goes to. And then Jake stole my 8th seed. I got the Hornets too, just because you're right. It's a right-in first-round sweep for the Celtics. It doesn't matter who gets it. That's my East. Jason, you want to go to the West?
Yeah. So the West is, Everybody laughs when they start to talk about the West, right? So the Warriors are presumably number one, and the Rockets are presumably number two. I think I kind of hinted at that. I mean, those teams, who knows? They could get bored at any point in the time in the season and kind of get into third or fourth gear and kind of cruise a little bit, and take a couple L's that you don't expect. But I mean, ideally they're 1 and 2. So here's the West for me. I've got 7 teams that I think are guaranteed in the playoffs, and then there's 4 that I think are fighting for the 8th seed. But outside of 1 and 2, it's like who knows what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to play out like. So my tentative order after that would be the Jazz at 3. That's the best defense in the league if Gobert is healthy, and their offense was greatly improved in that long streak they ran off last year, those couple of months where they only lost like 3 games or 4 games or whatever. I think they've figured out what works for them on the offense. I mean, relative to the league, they're a slow team, so a lot of people find them kind of boring and they're not very sexy, but it's not that they don't necessarily struggle to score, you know what I mean? So I think Mitchell will be ready to he'll have that experience now of like, hey, I'm the bucket getter. This is my offense. So I think the Jazz have the balance and everything to be the 3 seed. 4, 5. Andre Roberson's knee setback kind of has me worried. If he did come in fully healthy and ready to ride, I would say that the Thunder would be the 4 seed pushing for the 3. But Roberson has me worried. But I'll still take the Thunder at 4. I think they have enough balance. I think Schroeder is going to be huge for them. Having somebody who can actually run the floor while Westbrook has to sit and take some time. And his game balances well enough to where I think he'll be able to play alongside Westbrook as well, which you saw them do with Felton a lot last year, but Felton's garbage. I know the Hamburglar's done, I think. Is he even in the league? Is he still on a roster?
What is Raymond Felton is the Hamburglar?
Man, I've been calling him that for years because when I got out here, he was in Portland, right? So I had a lot of drunken nights yelling at the Hamburglar on TVs and bars here in Portland. So I think Schroeder's a huge upgrade. I think Carmelo for that team is an addition by subtraction. I think PG is going to really open her back up this year. I think Jeremy Grant is a stud. I don't know. I think they have just enough there to be in that 4 seed range. 5, 6, 7. Again, I don't know what the order is going to be, but if I had to guess, I'll take Denver at 5. I think they're the West team that I'm probably relatively high on. I don't know. I think their ceiling is really high. They've got a lot of balance. I mean, if Murray and Harris take the step that everybody thinks they're going to, if Jokic can just be a little more than a bed sheet on defense, that's all I really need. Millsap hopefully is healthy and back the full season. They got Thrill Will Barton. They got IT. Healthy. He's going to be a viable 6-man guy.
Hopefully.
So I think they've got a lot going on there. I think they're going to be really good. Then go ahead and let me pencil the Spurs in at 6. It's Pop. It's the Spurs. I know when that trade first went down, I was on text saying, man, I don't see how they're going to do this. I don't see how they're going to do this. But I've definitely talked myself back around to the Spurs. I think DeRozan and Aldridge will lead the league in most mid-range, long-range twos made, which is kind of contrary to where the league's moving. But I think you saw enough from DeRozan last year as the Raptors kind of switched up the ball movement and changed that offense. I think DeRozan will fit in pretty well with what Pop wants to do. And it's a different team and it's a new team, but I'm not going to write them out of the playoffs. Just want them to do it. And my 7th seed, I got the Pels. I think AD is a beast. I think he's healthy this year, and I think they got a lot of good additions. Julius Randle, I think, is going to be huge next to him. Mirotic worked well. Everybody rubs their chin at the AD thing, but if you look at his last few years, he's not been missing that many games. He had his couple of years early. But...
No, it's not the AD thing. It's something else.
Okay. So usually the AD health thing is.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient.
But, I got the Pels. I got the Pels at 7, man. So I think you got Alfred Payton. He's going to play nice with Drew Holiday, give Drew some time off the ball as a 2 guard. Julius Randle, Mirotic, AD. I'm trying to think of it. They still got Solo Hill. Who do they got down that I'm missing? Etwan Moore. They got some Hoosier connection guys. I think that team's good enough that AD I think is gonna take them there. And then so the 8th seed, The Blazers are good enough to. I don't think they're good enough to lock into the playoffs, though. So I mean, the Lakers, LeBron in and of himself seems like a playoff team, but you're counting on those young guys to take the leap. So I don't know. They're probably an 8 seed. I mean, it's really between those two. I mean, I have the Grizzlies and the Mavericks as fighting. I think they're going to be above 500. They're going to be 40-win teams. That's of course assuming the Grizz are healthy. I mean, if Conley and Gasol are healthy, they've got enough there to. I mean, what makes the playoffs in the West? 44, 45, 46 wins. I mean, they're all going to be beating each other all year long. So, but I mean, if I had to say I would probably say the Lakers are the 8th seed, just because I don't think that I can say LeBron won't make the playoffs. So that would leave the Blazers and the Grizzlies as the teams outside looking in. But who knows? I don't know. We'll see. And I'm not counting if you're wondering, like, where are the Timberwolves? I'm assuming Butler's gone. So, I mean, without Jimmy Butler, that team's not a playoff team. I'm just assuming Butler's somewhere. Butler presumably is somewhere in the Eastern Conference. Now, if Butler got to the Clippers, depending on what they moved, maybe the Clippers would be in that 8th seed fight again in this conversation. But it depends on what they have to move, to get them. So, I don't know, but I guess I'll write the Lakers in at 8 just because the GOAT is on that team, and I think the GOAT can drag the 3 of us into the playoffs if he really had to. So
I don't know. I'm pretty out of shape.
I'm not going to go against LeBron. I just won't do it. So put the Lakers at 8 for me, and it'll be the highest rated round 1 series ever between the Dubs and the Lakers. Yeah.
Jake, take the West before he keeps going.
Oh my God, this dude! All right, so 1 or 2. We know who the 2 best teams in the West are: the Rockets and the Warriors. It's just a matter of who's actually going to win most games. I don't know who. When it comes down to it, the Rockets wanted that home court advantage last year, so they got it, and it really didn't do them that much. I don't know, they weren't really any better off. You could argue that Chris Paul didn't get hurt. Could have taken it. I don't know. So I'll say, just out of respect for the champs, I'll go Golden State 1, Rockets 2. This is where mine gets a little different. And as much as I front on PG, I really can't front on PG. I mean, he's a stud, man. So I'll put OKC at 3. Westbrook is still probably my first or second favorite player in the league right now. I think, like you said, I think Melo actually being gone is actually going to open that team up more for everybody else. I think everybody else is going to eat a lot more on that team. And this is where my list really differs from yours. It probably differs from yours as well, Randall. I'm going to put the Lakers at number 4. Like, are you serious?
Oh, yeah, that's different.
Are you serious? LeBron James, you have to write in LeBron James in the HC. Like, no way. It's so bad.
You're not alone. A lot of people think that LA is home, 4th seed home court. Yeah, I don't know.
LeBron's gonna do what he has to do just to get that first round home court. I think. I think he knows he's not gonna be 1 or 2. I think he knows that. But could he squeak in there at 4 and get a first round at the Staples Center? I think he can, man. I think he can.
Who's there? I mean, I don't want to get too such on the Lakers because everybody's talking the Lakers and LeBron. But what's their 5-man rotation? Because I don't buy Beasley, I don't buy JaVale, and I don't really buy Rondo, and I want to buy Lance, but I'm still selling Lance. I mean, their best unit is really LeBron and the 4 young guys.
I think Lance is most definitely coming off the bench. And I think Rondo starts.
Yeah, Rondo's going to start while Ball heals.
I mean, like, when it's May, right, and the games are counting, like you said, that LeBron's pushing and fighting for home court, like, their closing lineup it's going to be Ball, Hart, Ingram, Kuzma, and LeBron, right? I mean,
I think it's going to be Rondo. I think it's going to be Rondo, LeBron, Hart, Kuzma, and Ingram. I don't think they really have a traditional big man. They really need one.
No,
I think in playoff time or crunch time late season, I don't think you put Ball in the game over Rondo. Unless Rondo just completely been shit all year. I don't think there's no way you put Ball over Rondo.
Rajon Rondo has been a bum for like 4 seasons until he had like a 2-month run with the Pelicans last year.
And when he was on that run, you're like, damn, Rondo is the man.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, Rondo, where have you been this whole time? But when he's in it, man, he's like, he was killing it out there with Anthony Davis, man. That shit was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, get sidetracked. So Lakers at 4. I'm gonna go Jazz at 5. Like you said, they're great defensively, and Donovan Mitchell. I don't think anybody predicted he's going to be as good as he is, but he's one of the funnest players to watch in the league. I think. We all had the league pass here, so we watch a lot of basketball. I think we could all agree that the Jazz. We watch a Jazz game whenever we could. Then I was going to go Denver Nuggets 6. I'm not going to talk too much about them. I like Joker, Gary Harris, Indiana, Jamal Murray. They got some young talent out there. And then I'm going to go San Antonio. I'm never going to count out Pop. He got rid of Kawhi, but it's not like he didn't get anything for Kawhi. And I'm not a big DeRozan fan, but I think DeRozan is a serviceable mid-level star in this league. I know some people argue that he's superstar status or whatever, but I think he's a top-tier B player. I think if you got enough pieces around him, he could be an A player. And then my 8 seed, I'm going to go with the Pels. I think AD does it. I think I know they did a lot without Boogie Cousins last year. But I think if they had Cousins, I think they would have been a lot better team. And it kind of sucks that we really didn't get to see them at full power, full health, or whatever for that long last year. But I think they would have been really fun to watch. So I'm going to slide them in there at 7. And notice how I didn't have the Blazers in there. I think this is the last year for the Blazers. I think they missed the playoffs, and I think they're in for some roster overhauls. I think they split them guys up or do something. I don't know. But they should be in the playoffs, man. But Dame Lillard is too good to be out. I mean, they made it the past 2 seasons, but like they got swept, right? Did they get swept first round?
Yeah, by the Pelicans.
They were the 3 seed, and yeah, they basically, I mean, what they did was they took the ball out of Dame's hand, and that was their game plan to double Dame and make Dame give up the ball, and then nobody else on that floor could do anything when Dame didn't have the ball.
The Pels straight embarrassed them, man. That was, I think the Blazers are out, and I think they blow it up. And I hate to say that because I actually Dame Lillard's one of my favorite players. I like McCollum too. I think they got some really good players, but I just don't have them in the playoffs. And like I left out the Minnesota Timberwolves too, not just because of Jimmy Butler, but I think all this stuff in the offseason, all the talk, all the rumors, whatever. I bet you that locker room is probably one of the worst locker rooms in the league. Like, it has to be. Like, I bet you everybody looks at everybody, the locker next to him, and just like, man, I don't know about you.
You want to trade block.
Everything I read says it's just Jimmy.
I don't know, man. I find that very hard to believe. I find that very hard to believe.
Well, you got the Bulls clique, right? So maybe those guys are, like, over in one corner. So there's, like, those 3, and then everybody.
Yeah, speaking of that, it is kind of super weird how this is all kind of, like, they signed
Gibson, Butler, Rose, Dang, Thibodeau.
The Timber Bulls, man. Thibodeau just wants to run it back with the old gang one more time and see if the band can finally make it. Maybe this time to get the deal.
The same thing, and the Clippers, like, he brought in a bunch of his old players. I don't know. Maybe just something from that coaching linear. I don't know. Yes, that's mine.
Got your 8. All right.
Yeah.
So same 1 seed, man. The Warriors aren't letting go. Like, they can coast. Everybody can panic right after All-Star. As soon as Boogie comes back, man, they're gonna flip that switch. They're gonna be damn near unbeatable. Rockets again at 2. Hopefully Melo can have a bounce back season and, you know, kind of hush all the disrespect that's been coming his way. At 3, I got the Thunder. Same thing. I think with PG re-signing, he can play more loose, more free. You know, get back to his elite level status. Russ doesn't have to do as much. Who's the dude that got hurt last year from the Thunder?
Roberson.
Yeah, Roberson.
Yeah, he's going to be an addition.
He's a specialist.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying, he's the one, his knee, he's going to miss 2 months now. His knee again kind of flared up or whatever. That's the only thing I'm worried about them.
And then I got
He used to be the best defensive player, but I guess you give it to PG now.
I got the Jazz at 4, Spider, Gobert. Yeah, they're coming for the 4th seed. They're coming for home court. I got the Blazers at 5, man. Everybody's sleeping on Portland like they didn't have a good regular season. If you have a good regular season, you make the playoffs. They got swept in the playoffs. That's another story. I got the Lakers at 6, man. LeBron is not missing the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Like, I think JaVale McGee isn't Shaq and a fool JaVale McGee anymore. I think being in that Golden State environment, like, he knows how to win, even if he might make some bonehead plays. I don't know if he starts when the pressure's on. I don't know if he's on the court in the last couple minutes. But he'll be good in the locker room. All their 1-year deals. I mean, we'll see. I think the Lakers are going to be one of the more entertaining teams to watch. At 7, the Spurs. They made the playoffs without Kawhi. Traded Kawhi. You add DeRozan. They're in the playoffs. Like, I was thinking about that too initially after the trade. Like, how are the Spurs going to get back to the playoffs now? But after you think about it, they'll be there. And then the 8th seed for me came down to Denver, Dallas, and Memphis. And what Denver was minutes, maybe seconds away from the 8th seed last year. So I think they get in. Where are we? MVP? Does anybody have an MVP not named LeBron James this year?
LeBron all the way.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, LeBron's going to have the narrative if he has another big year, right? The LA thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Westbrook's MVP year was an outlier. Again, were they the 5th seed that year? But he had a triple-double, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was like, oh, Westbrook, triple-double. And then Harden last year kind of felt like a makeup in some ways, although, I mean, he had a great year. I mean, I'm inclined, we kind of assume Steph and KD are going to cancel each other out, right? And then Harden's probably not going to go back-to-back. So, yeah, I mean, who is it other than LeBron? I'm not sure. But, I think LeBron has the best odds. But I think the 3 people that I would consider, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're there at the end of the year. I think Giannis goes on a tear this year. It just depends on where they finish. But I think Kawhi could be in the discussion if he's Kawhi again. I don't think we should write him off. And I think Steph goes off this year. I just think Steph has a big year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Steph's there. But, yeah, I mean, I think everything's in place for LeBron to win one. LeBron probably is owed one just because so many years he didn't get it, you know what I mean? So it's like, go ahead and toss him a bullshit narrative one. But I think he's the front runner, yeah.
I think if it's not LeBron, it'd probably be AD. Because I don't see James Harden repeating. I throw Westbrook ahead of James Harden if he can average a triple-double or even get close to triple-double again. Because you could argue that Westbrook should have got MVP again last year, in my opinion.
I mean, I think AD's got the same problem with Giannis. You can't be lower than a 5th seed and probably be the MVP, right? So, I mean, as far as, like, value and statistics, like, AD is – if it's like blowing up the league, everybody's in a pool, and I get the number 1 pick tomorrow to start my franchise, I'm taking Anthony Davis, like, hands down. I think he's a beast, and he's still young. But, if they're the 7th or 8th seed, that's not – I mean, I'm sure – I should know this. I'm sure there's someone in NBA history that won an MVP from a low-level team like that, but I just don't see that happening there.
I don't know. Anybody got a finals pick that's not Celtics Warriors?
A pick between, like, you mean like a different matchup?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, it's probably the finals. But I'll go ahead and start. I think the Celtics win, and not because I think the Celtics are better, but because I think last year it was Paul that got hurt, and it was just enough for the Dubs to benefit. I mean, Iggy was out for most of that series, but if you think about their run, they've been healthy, right, more or less, when it comes to conference finals and NBA finals. I mean, I know Steph missed the first round a couple years ago where Portland won a couple games, and it's like, oh, wow, maybe the Blazers will win. But
they're vulnerable.
I think this might be the year. Just if I'm just playing odds, I think this is the year where KD's foot or Steph's ankle or one of those 2 guys is hurt at the wrong time. And, I think I don't know. Celtics will be there.
If KD goes down, I'll listen to it. But if Steph goes down, they're still going to win. If Clay goes down, they're still going to win. If Clay doesn't play one single game, they're still going to win. As long as KD's on that court and he's got 3 of the 4 or whatever, yeah, they're going to win. They're going to win.
I'm still Team Steph, man. I think Steph is what makes that team go.
You can't – playoff time, you can't – there's no checking KD. You can't check him. You can't put anybody on him to check him.
If there's no Steph, right, KD's got to go between Hayward, Brown, and Tatum, just one after the other, just different looks. I mean, KD's going to do KD. He's going to do his thing, but without Steph, Boston is balanced, man. Kyrie's value on that court elevates highly. Who knows what Boogie will look like. I would not be surprised if Horford ran circles on Boogie in the finals, just because Boogie may not be Boogie after that injury. Like, Boogie probably won't be Boogie again until next season. I mean, if you really give him a full timetable, but I don't know. I'm not saying if everybody's healthy, the Celtics the Warriors will run away with it, everyone knows it. But I'm just saying, I think this might be the year where the injury happens at the wrong time for the Warriors, because that hasn't happened yet. That's the only thing that's going to stop them, right? Everybody knows that it's an injury. I'm just saying, if this is the year, then I think that's when you see the Celtics sneak in there. Like, holy shit, Celtics won. And everybody will put the mental asterisk on it because it's like, yeah, but it's because Steph twisted his ankle in game 2. You know what I mean? But whatever.
That shit don't count.
It's going to be the Warriors. The Warriors win, but no. It's fun to think.
That's it for the 2018-2019 NBA season predictions. Drop a comment. Give us your picks for each conference, MVP, etc. When we come back, we're going to talk some hip-hop albums. And we're back, man. Rec League Podcast, and we about to talk some hip-hop. In between shows, quite a few hip-hop albums saw the light of day. And we're going to start off by talking about this new Lupe Fiasco, this Droga's Wave. And I like the album. My man OldManLawrence loves the album. So go ahead and speak your piece.
All right, man. So I've only talked to a handful of people about the Lupe album. I've checked a few things out online. Some of the things that he's posted on Twitter or whatever about the overall reaction to this album. And it seems to be mixed, really. Like, a lot of people love it, or a lot of people are like, yeah, it's okay. But I haven't heard anybody say that it's a bad album.
No.
You would have to, if you say this is a bad album, then you got some problems, I would say. You're in the wrong genre. But yeah, I think his album is easily an argument for top 5 of the year. I don't really think there's a bad track on this album. There's some tracks on here that I don't like as much as the others. And there's some tracks, maybe only one or two that I feel like he just kind of threw on here because he likes the track. But other than that, I think everything on this album is damn near perfect. Now, people are going to say, well, perfect album will put you up there with, like, It Was Written and, the Black Album and all these other classic hip-hop albums. And, yeah, you're right. A perfect album would be put in that debate. Now, I'm not trying to put this in that debate. I'm just saying that this is really damn near classic album. I like it a lot. And we'll just jump right into it. The first part, I guess if you have one ends at, I'm not sure if that's true or not. But the first disc, tracks 1 through 8 or whatever, goes to tell the story of the slave trade, overall, about that whole time period. It's kind of got a concept thing to it, which is incredibly dope. And I actually hadn't looked some stuff up because there's a lot of stuff everybody's talking about that I didn't really know. And I have no shame in saying that. Like, some of this stuff went over my head to the point where I read the lyrics and I looked it up. And it made even that much more dope to me as a Lupe fan. So the first track is all in Spanish. I haven't listened. I haven't read the lyrics to it yet.
Haven't translated.
I haven't really translated it. So for the sake of and being fair for this review, I'll just kind of skip over that. Which, like I say, it's kind of a catchy song. But we'll go right into Manila, which is an amazing track right off the bat. I think Lupe brings the lyrics out from the get-go on this album. It reminds you that, like, he has bars, and not only does he have bars, but he has intellectual bars that will probably go over a lot of people's heads. I know it's a knock. People, non-Lupe fans, always like, oh, it's not because his bars go over our heads, it's because it's boring when we talk about the same stuff. But yeah, honestly, for being completely upfront, a lot of his bars do go over people's heads. So I think it's a fair criticism or whatever, a fair point to make. It's not his fault. But Manilas was super dope. Manillas are actually like a currency they used to use, I believe, for to actually trade for the slaves, like the human cargo, like they touch on it. Then you got Gold versus Right Thing to Do. Right after that, super dope. You got the interlude, which is nothing but the violin. It kind of threw a lot of people off, but I think the tone of the album. I think it slides in there perfectly. When I first heard it, I listened to it in headphones. Kind of creeped me out, man, because I was like listening to it, and it kind of, for a string instrument, like it got intense, and it kind of made the heartbeat a little bit. So I thought it was really dope. Now, if I'm listening to it over and over, like most of the time, yeah, I'll skip through it because I want to get back to the bars. But I think on your first or second time through, I think it has a lot of influence on the album. Then Wave Files, lyrically probably the best track on here. Lupe. I'll just from the first verse, I'm gonna read this. Wade with us, baptized and convert to the waves with us. Tuned in what the future holds. I can never be a slave. They gonna have to pay me Navy. Downloaded the titles like Jay-Z, like right there, man. Just killed it. I'm like, what? Oh my God, Lupe is my man. Been waiting for this Lupe because I'm gonna be honest, like Drunk is Light, solid album, but it didn't really feel like Lupe to me. You know what I mean? Like the Lupe I know is Food and Liquor, The Cool, Food and Liquor 2. You know what I mean? Those are Tetsuo and Youth. I thought was actually a really good album too. So Lupe's got some classic albums, if you ask me. Yeah, you guys can tell I really like his albums. I'm only on track 6. I'm rambling my ass off. But yeah, then you get into tracks. I'll skip forward a little bit. Like I'll Live Forever. Love that song where he's telling a story about the kid. I heard some complaints about Nicki being on every track or damn near every track, which I don't have a problem with because I think she's always added something positive to a track. But yeah, probably the weakest track on here, man, is probably XO, and I jammed to that, man. I think that's a really dope song. Kingdom is amazing. Imagine, Stack That Cheese kind of goes back to Lupe from The Cool. It's super cool to have on there. King Nas. Oh my God, man. Happy Timbuktu Day. Are you serious, man? 24 tracks. Like I said, I don't think there's a bad song on this album. I loved it front to back. I've been listening to it basically this whole time, other than Wayne, since it came out. And every spin, I'll find something new on a track that just blows me away. So I don't understand the criticism for this. Like the only thing I can understand is that it's too long. I'll give you that. But outside of that, like I don't think you can say anything bad about this album. Honestly, that's just me.
Yeah, but I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I think it's a good album. I don't love it. I don't know one word. It's embarrassing. I live on the Texas-Mexico border. I don't understand one word of Drogas, and I jam to that. That's a dope track. I think Gold versus The Right Thing to Do is real dope. Like you pointed out, Wave Files is my favorite track on the album. I think, man, you said XO was the weakest track, but I think XO is dope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you were to ask me what the weakest track on here, like it would be a struggle. And I don't know. I'd probably just say XO because I feel like that's what most people would say. Honestly, I don't think it's a weak track. Like I said, I don't think there's a weak track on here.
I was bumping it on the way home from work a couple days ago, and I don't remember the track. Like now that the camera's on, I don't remember what track, but I was like, man, this sounds like it was like a throwaway from The Cool, and so it had to be Stack That Cheese.
Yeah, because he kind of, if I'm not mistaken, he kind of jumps back into that story.
So that delivery and cadence.
Yeah, but
the Damian Marley track is dope.
Yeah, the Kingdom track, yeah. Now I'm sorry, but hip hop needs more Damian Marley than a lot, man. If you're an artist, man, God, every track he gets on is featured. I fucking love, dude.
Yeah. Happy Timbuktu Day seems to be like a fan favorite around, whoever you asking.
And Miro Jr. at the very end, man, ends this album perfectly. That was a perfect way to go out. That shit was so dope. Bars, man.
And then
sorry.
No, I mean that's it. I'm actually done. Like, there's some aspects of it I love. Some I think it's okay, but yeah, like Lupe's never made a bad album. If you listening to the wrong stuff if you think that Lupe is trash. Lupe Fiasco ain't never been trash. I think out of 5, I think I would give it a 3.5. You don't?
Out of 5, honestly, I'm giving it a 5. I think it's a 5 out of 5. Am I ready to call it a classic album? It's going to go down as one of the GOATs of all time? No, I won't say that, but I mean, I can't find one thing wrong with this album. And in my opinion, that's a 5 out of 5 for me.
That's what's up. So we about to flip it right quick, come back and talk about the Carter 5. All right, man. I told y'all we back. Like y'all didn't believe me, man. What's it been? Like a 6-year, 7-year wait. Lil Wayne finally dropped the Carter 5, which is rumored to be his last album. He said that like 4 years ago. He might have changed his mind. But the anticipation is there, man. It's Lil Wayne. It's the Carter. He's not doing no I'm not a human being. He ain't doing no oh man, what Rebirth? Is that what his rock album was called?
Yeah, something like that, man.
We got 23 tracks. Extension, however you say his name, dude, like R.I.P. He passed away. He's featured on here. Travis Scott, Nicki Minaj, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg. Wayne's daughter is on the track. Ashanti, Mac Main, Nivea. Just like that Lupe fiasco, man. I think it's good, not great. OldManLawrence is a little higher on the enjoyment level. So go ahead, take the floor.
Yeah, man. I was actually I won't say blown away, but I didn't really have high expectations for his album, especially given the long layoff that he had. I think you're right. I think it was he started talking about this like back in 2012 or whatever.
Carter 4 was 2011.
Yeah, I was saying I think I read something where he first started teasing Carter 5 back in 2012. That's crazy to think about. Like he's been gone that long, but he still did some mixtapes or whatever here and there. I didn't really get too deep into those.
No.
But I mean, he's been around the game. It's not like he was completely gone. Yeah, I was blown away by this album, man. Borderline blown away. First track, he's got the little introduction, whatever. His mother talking.
Yeah,
that sets the tone for the album. When I first heard it, I wasn't quite sure what kind of album this was going to be, honestly. But then it jumps right into "Don't Cry," featuring I don't know how to say his name either. Extension.
Hey, Wayne says put a triple extension on my motherfucking afterlife. So maybe
I think Extension. I think is the way he pronounces it.
I guess I need a younger fan on here.
Yeah, young man gone way too early.
Way too early.
Wasn't a fan of his music at all. I mean, I couldn't name one of his songs.
Nah.
Nobody wants to see anything like that happen.
Nah.
But I think I said this in the group chat. This is probably one of the dopest first tracks to an album that I've heard in a long time. I don't know why it kind of hit me, but yeah, Wayne singing, it's almost like you can kind of feel like the emotion in his voice, man. And I know you don't think of Wayne as a singer, and let's be honest, he's really not singing.
No.
He doesn't have like vocals or nothing, but it's super dope track. Like the chorus, whatever, you feel it. You can kind of feel the emotion in his voice. So yeah, then Dedicate. He jumps right into Dedicate.
Bars.
He kind of reminds everybody, like, yo, hey, in case you guys forgot about me,
I'm still here.
I was the first to do this. I was the first to do this. You know, I started stunting. I was doing this. I've been around the game since I was 16 years old. I think you guys forgot about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's track 3. Then you go track 4 up for track 5, Let It Fly with Travis Scott, which I have to say, call me a hater. I don't like Travis Scott. He's not my flavor.
I'm with you.
He's not my flavor at all, man. I listened to his newest album, and nah. Not one song on there. On the entire album, I'll go back and listen to it again. Maybe I'm a hater. I might be, but I just don't like Travis Scott, man. I don't really know who he is as a person, so it's like nothing personal. I just don't like his music, man. He's not my flavor. But once you get past the Travis Scott part of this song, Lil Wayne snaps. He absolutely went off. So that he kind of made up for this track, and it's actually a dope-ass song. Then you go right into Can't Be Broken. Dope-ass song. And I said this in the group chat, too. This song would have been perfect on Eminem on a feature because I think it kind of fits. Like him and Eminem kind of went through kind of like the same thing. A long layoff. People were questioning if they still had it. Yada, yada. They both kind of had the overdoses, near-death experiences or whatever. So I think Eminem would have been real dope to hear on this track. Dark Side of the Moon is one of the sleeper songs on this album, if you ask me. It's so dope. Love that song. I don't know, man, you're making that face. I don't know. I think it's a jam. I can
do without Nicki.
Well, at least probably the top 3 best songs on track if you ask the average person. So Straight Gangster, Gutter, whatever you want to say. That track, and I hate to be this guy that everybody does this. You can't have a guest spot. But I'm sorry, Wayne. I think you got Kendrick, man. I don't think Kendrick was on your level lyrically. I think Wayne got the best of Kendrick on this verse. He not only kind of tell a dope story or whatever. The whole song is kind of like one big story, but he had bars throughout this song. I thought that was really dope. And then you go, What About Me? It's kind of like his like a hip hop, like heartbreak love song or whatever. I relate to that track a lot. What can I say? Life happens.
That's what
I
music's
kind of
for.
relate to that. These lyrics in this song. I relate. Open Letter, stupid, good, famous. It's kind of a pop song. I guess you can kind of say it's a poppy track. Whatever. Some people might not like that. Problems, good, dope, N-word with featuring Snoop Dogg has a crazy sample in it. That beat is bananas. I'm not big on Snoop Dogg still trying to rap anymore because every verse he basically says the same thing. I mean, honestly, Snoop Dogg is not saying anything new at this point in his career, but I think he fit the track. Yeah, man, hitters. I think a lot of people say the second half of this album is trash, but I don't, man. 23 songs. I hear a lot of people say that they don't like Demon. That shit hits to me, man. That shit is hard. Perfect Strangers is used to is a very deep track, if you ask me, man. I think I skipped over a couple. Open Safe. I thought Open Safe was really good. Again, there's some tracks on here that I don't like as much as others, but I don't really think there's a garbage track on here. Like, if I'm in the gym and I'm working out to this album, I'll skip a couple of them just because I want to keep my, my blood flow up, my heart being hype. You know what I mean? So I'll skip a couple of them. But if I'm chilling and I'm listening to this album, I really there's maybe one song that I'll skip. I couldn't even tell you what that is off the top of my head. It might be different from each time I listen to it. I might not be in the mood for a certain track, but I don't think there's a weak song on here, man. I feel like I'm talking way too much, so feel free to jump in here.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Like, I love Lupe Fiasco more than Lil Wayne as an artist, but as far as like the albums they just come out with, I think I like more Lil Wayne tracks than Lupe tracks.
I wouldn't even be mad at that. Like, I think a lot of people can kind of, after having the both albums for a little over a week now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with somebody saying they like Lil Wayne better. I would disagree, but I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I think Don't Cry is cool. I don't like it as much as you. Dedicate is when he really comes in. Like, Dedicate, he just starts spitting, and like the first, I would say, track 3 all the way to track 8, from Dedicate to Mona Lisa. That's like, I was in it. Like, I think I heard it before you and Legacy did, and I told you, I was like, okay, Wayne back, and then y'all came in when y'all woke up. And Uproar is a Swiss Beats joint, right?
Yeah.
You kind of brushed over that, man. That track is so dope.
I brushed over it on purpose because when I first heard it, I was like, for the first time, Swiss Beats didn't actually kill an album. Yeah, that's super hater to say. But if Swiss Beats is on a mainstream album, he's usually got the weakest track on there. Like,
Showtime.
I think back to that Nas, that Hero. That's probably the weakest track on that whole Nas album.
Hero.
But, it's a club hit, a banger, radio
on the Untitled album.
Huh?
On the Untitled album.
Yeah, they were looking for a hero.
I think that was Polo Ladon. That track jams.
What track am I talking about with, damn, you might have to edit this out so I don't sound like an idiot. But I could have sworn that
I ain't editing shit.
Alright, you might have to edit this shit out.
I don't know what you're talking about either.
Nah, just saying though, like, when I first heard this track, I was like, hey, this is a really dope track, but this is one of the few songs that I've gotten to do my repeat listens, and it's like, I don't know.
No.
Well, I mean, Lil Wayne did his thing with his flow or whatever, but
yeah,
I don't know. The beat kind of gets annoying after a while.
I love Wayne's delivery on Uproar. I think Let It Fly is dope. Can't Be Broken is dope. I'm with you. Hey, Wayne got Kendrick. It might be unpopular opinion, but that story is so dope. That story is so dope. You talking about pulling that move, and then Kendrick come in, and I don't know if he was trying to like continue the story.
I mean, his verse wasn't like weak. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah. But then he kind of threw me off because at the end he ended his verse with talking about, so you like pussy rappers, and then like he like make it sound like he shot himself. It just didn't make sense to me.
He's rapping as somebody different. So he's not, that verse isn't Kendrick or more rapping. It's he's taking on a character or whatever.
Okay.
And I think he, I don't know. I have a real love-hate relationship with Kendrick Lamar. Obviously, he's one of the best artists in the game.
Feel you.
I won't even argue that. But I think he kind of loses me personally in like a lot of things that he does. Like, I think he tries a little too hard to be different or whatever. And I don't know if I can really knock him for that. It's just one of my personal things that kind of turns me off about it. And throughout this verse, he changes it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, all right, man, you're doing your Kendrick thing where you gotta go do your range, different voices or whatever. But with all it sounds like I said, this is just me, my thoughts as a hip hop head. But I can't front on it. Kendrick Lamar is a real dope verse. I just think Wayne got the better of him.
Yeah,
it's
for
stupid
sure.
to say that, but
I think Open Letter is dope. I think Mac Man is trash. It's dope to see Ashanti back on a mainstream album. I'm not big on Demon. Perfect Strangers is dope. Used To is dope. And the way that he talking about like how he shot himself and all that on the last track, Let It All Work Out, I thought that was one of the better tracks on the album too.
The sample is crazy too. That beat is nice.
Yeah. As far as ratings, I think again, same as Lupe, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I give this one a 4. Like realistically, it probably isn't 3.5. But for me, the way I'm jamming to it, yeah, I'll give it a 4. I'm comfortable with that. But yeah, one thing I wanted to say on Dedicated or whatever, like that song is such a jam that like I'll be like listening to it in my headphones or whatever, and I'll be singing along. And I was just like, Sue Whoop, and I was just like,
Hey, but you gotta be saying that in public,
like,
man.
What the hell is this guy talking about? So like that song, it's got me like Sue Whoop, and I know people are probably looking at me like I'm crazy. But yeah, that's a really good song, man. And I like this album. I like this album a lot, man, all the way from the back. Like I said, I told you, we kind of got personal about what I was doing when I was listening to this album one of the times or whatever. But yeah, I feel like this is an album you could throw on doing a lot of different stuff, man. Whether you're working out, just chilling, jamming some music, driving to work or whatever. I think it's a really dope album.
No doubt, man. So that's it for episode 6, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the show, Rec League Podcast. Come back for episode 7. I'm cooking up something really, really dope for the movie segment, man. Hope you guys come back, watch, listen, however you getting your Rec League fix, man. So just chill until the next episode.